This pad that we're going to look at now is a replaceable prop. Props can either be stuck directly to the toes, obviously to extend the digits, but this one is a particularly versatile prop because you can move the toe loop from one side of the prop to the other, depending what toe or which toe you wish to treat, if you like. The prop itself will extend all the digits, but where you put the toe loop is where the protection to the dorsal part of the toe will be, which is a rather handy feature of this toe. It was shown to me many years ago by a podiatrist called Keith Duncan Hawes, who sadly passed away now. But I do think when we were taught this as students, it was particularly memorable. So I'd like to show you how this was made. So what we're going to use is Hapler toe foam, size BX. So it has we have an overlapping portion here and a singular portion here. And this will be wide enough, and this will form the protection to the dorsal part of our toe, which I shall show you shortly. This will be incorporated inside this Hapler gauze, size 01, and this together will form the toe loop. The prop will be made of 5mm semi-compressed felt. So have a look here, so Hapler 5mm semi-compressed felt. So let's start then. Taking the right foot here, we're going to make a toe loop, we're going to make a prop that's going to sit underneath all 4 lesser digits, so 2 through to 5, with the object of extending them so that the pads, the distal pads here, are in contact with the ground. And if there's any hammering or mallet toe formation, the distal interphalangeal joint and the proximal interphalangeal joint will be protected, not just from the extension, but also from the toe loop as well. Without further ado then, let's cut out the amount of material we're going to need for our toe loop. So we're going to cut into the toe foam, and using the overlapping part, let's start with this amount here. And what this amount here should do is it should wrap round the toe completely. So, well, completely, as what I mean is around the medial and lateral border as well as the dorsal border, but not the plantar aspect. So 3/4 of the toe. This should be sufficient, so let's trim that out. If we measure that, say around the 3rd toe, if we're putting our toe loop around the 3rd toe, if we bend the toe foam round, we can see that it covers those 3 borders without covering the plantar aspect. So that should be sufficient for our needs. Let's incorporate this now into the Hapler gauze. So, to cut out a piece of gauze, which will be long enough to go round the toe and into the prop itself. This will probably be sufficient here, so let's just trim that off there. This is a really neat part which I like. Thread the gauze onto the applicator, like so. Take your toe foam, place it inside the applicator, and then pull the gauze over until the toe foam is centrally sited within the gauze, and then just pull the whole thing off, and now you have your gauze incorporating your toe foam. And as you can see, if we put this around the 3rd toe now, we have a situation where we have plenty of gauze now to sit inside the prop. Let's just angle that correctly, there we go. It's the whole dorsal, pretty much the whole dorsal PIPJ and DIPJ, the proximal and distal interphalangeal joints, is covered by the toe foam, so it's nice and protected. But the other really neat feature is if we look here on the dorsum, the replaceable toe loop is widely stretched over the toe, so there is very little likelihood of it rolling up and becoming a tourniquet. So, taking this off, just putting it to one side for a moment, let's leave that there. Let's cut out our prop now, which will sit underneath these 4 digits. Okay, so this is 5mm felt. When we fold it over, obviously it becomes a 10mm prop. Okay, so let's cut that. I like to put a light curve in both the distal and proximal part of the prop, like so. Okay, that's too wide, so let's reduce its width. around a little bit more there. Good. So when it's folded, this will now sit underneath the digits, providing a platform on which the toes can rest. Again, let's curve our edges here. Let's put a bevel in there. Now, here's the neat part. Where we want the toe loop to be sited in the prop, we're going to make 2 holes. These toe holes, here and here, will be as wide as the toe and approximately in the same area as the toe. So if we hold it against the prop against the toes here, if we're putting the toe loop over the 3rd toe, the 2 holes will be approximately sited there. So what you do with the sharp part of your scissors, your dressing scissors, is pierce a hole right through the felt. Then cut yourself a little hole. Don't just pierce it through, remove a little hole, and then similarly, about 1 centimetre, again push through and cut yourself a little hole. Okay, these 2 holes will receive the wings here of the toe loop. So here are 2 holes. Let's push the wick through using the scissor. Let's push the wing through. So just push it through. Push it through, obviously being careful with the point of your scissor and your fingers. Take it through and pull. There's one part. Okay, now take the second one and push that through the other hole here. There we go. Now, pull the 2 wings very tightly so that the toe foam sits against the felt. Now, the next part is we remove the paper backing to reveal the sticky adhesive surface of the felt. Now, pull firmly and stick underneath one wing, and pull firmly and stick the second wing. Now, carefully fold over prop so the 2 ends meet neatly. Press down. Now we can see this replaceable prop taking shape. Remove the excess of the gauze. And we're ready to press the toe loop over the toe here. Just push it right over the top. And there we have our replaceable prop with a toe loop to the 3rd toe. Now this toe loop could be over the 2nd toe, obviously if you cut the 2 holes there carefully, and that would then pull down the 2nd toe so that it was in line with the hallux. So if there was a situation where the 2nd toe was overriding a hallux and you wanted to realign that, this toe loop could be placed there and that would pull that alongside. Also, the medial edge of the prop would butt up against the hallux here and push it slightly into an adductory fashion. Or this toe loop could be over the 4th, or even over the 5th, or over 2 if you wished. And that makes this toe loop very versatile and totally replaceable. And it should last approximately 4 to 6 weeks.